On this note, I yield to 5 minutes to the ranking member of the committee, the Congressman Issa from the great state of California. Mr. Issa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and you are right. You speak for both of us when you say we will use all efforts of this committee and all power of this committee to ensure this does not happen again. Johnson & Johnson has owned the McNeil Consumer Healthcare Division since 1959. So for one, from this day forward, I will say Johnson & Johnson and not talk about a subsidiary that has been owned by a company for so long. Before I came to the Congress, I was a manufacturer. I understand ISO 9001, certainly a good but lesser standard than what we expect medical medical items and food items to be held to. But there is no question that my manufacturing techniques were less than I would have expected if I were going to put a product in my mouth. Producing electronics, you want it to work, and you want it to work reliably. You want it to work consistently, and you want it to never hurt anyone. But my company knew that we would produce product that from time to time would be installed poorly. We knew that from time to time we would have a bad transistor, resistor, or diode. We did not produce to aviation specs because, to be honest, an alarm going off because of a malfunction was less of a problem. But today we're talking about a market leader, a leader who had so much confidence of the American people that we never questioned their products or their services, whose creed was all about safety and reliability, and they have disappointed us. We are not the Committee of Manufacturing. We are not the Committee of Jurisdiction directly over healthcare products, or for that matter, any of the manufacturing sector in this country. That is for other committees. What we are is the committee that oversees government's overseeing of its responsibility. Today we have before us the FDA, and much like the National Transportation Safety and other parts of the Department of Transportation, we have an agency who has done their job. They have delivered report after report of problems, and they have come to a final conclusion before coming to this committee of a massive recall. So like Akio Toyoda, we would hope that Johnson & Johnson comes ready to say this is a mistake that will not happen again, that the company will in fact change how it does business so significantly as to never be before us again. But as to the FDA, I am encouraged that they have done their job, but I'm disappointed that it took so long. As with the national transportation questions that we had before Secretary LaHood, today I will be interested to know what changes at FDA would allow for, if you will, shortcuts to this conclusion. How do we find that a manufacturing technique that is below standard is corrected more quickly? How do we ensure that there are no backdoor or, if you will, unannounced recalls? And how do we ensure that the FDA has all of the authority and financing that it needs to ensure the American people that not just a 120-year-old company, well regarded and able to pay for all the cost of their mistakes, but that every piece of over-the-counter or prescription medicine, or for that matter food, whether domestic or foreign import as so much is today, is safe. I'm deeply concerned, Mr. Chairman, that Johnson & Johnson is the tip of the iceberg. If one of the most reliable and responsible organizations in America and a company with great connections to the community can fail us, then what about those aspirins and other products that are more and more being imported from outside our country, from factories that are harder to reach and people who do not even speak our language when we go to inspect them? So although today is about Johnson & Johnson, and I hope the second panel does their job of explaining why they'll not be in front of us again, I am most interested in the first panel. What do we need to do as the Committee on Oversight and Reform to ensure that you're able to do your job worldwide safely so the American people can sleep knowing that these kinds of medicines, no matter where they're made in the world, will be absolutely safe from this day forward? I thank the Chairman and yield back.